Am I the asshole for standing up for my boyfriend and calling out one of his female friends? I am 27F. Boyfriend is 30 male and friend is 30 female. For the past several days she has been unloading all of her emotional and mental issues on him via text and phone calls. General stress stuff regarding her fiancé and work and life. He has expressed to me several times that he's getting frustrated with her because this is all she talks to him about, and when he tells her he is too busy but will text her later, she takes it as he doesn't care and is abandoning her. Episodes like this happen very frequently, and this is just the latest one. For instance, at work he couldn't respond to her right away and she got annoyed with him. My boyfriend and I were out at dinner earlier this week and he was constantly on his phone, but she wouldn't let him go without trying to make him feel guilty. He has been complaining to me about her neediness and clinginess, and now I am getting annoyed with it, haha. We all went out to breakfast this morning and she just kept talking about how stressed she was and how she thinks her fiancé doesn't feel the same way anymore. It's obvious to me that she's stressed out and possibly having anxiety attacks, and that's why she's clinging to my boyfriend for help, and likely her own BF. It sounds like her behavior is too much for him and he's pushing her away because of it. I get that, I really do, but he is not a therapist and him not being able to help her as much as she wants make her feel abandoned, so overall it is just a lose-lose for both of them. About 45 minutes into breakfast they had gotten into a bit of a tense discussion and she was starting to lose her cool. I had not said a single word the whole breakfast other than "Hi, how is it going?" It was all about her, and to be honest I was getting annoyed, but I honestly hate confrontation, so I thought it was best to keep out of it. At one point the conversation took a turn and was now about my boyfriend being a bad friend, and I stepped in. I said something along the lines of, "No, actually I don't think he is a bad friend. A bad friend would not spend days at a time constantly being available to you when you go through hard times. I think you have really high expectations and want him available to you 24/7, which is unreasonable. You take him setting boundaries as abandonment, which is only hurting your friendship. He fucking loves you, but you only care about him when you need something, and that sucks for him." Well, she just about lost her shit at me and said a lot of not so nice things in return. I realize my timing was impeccable, however I couldn't sit there and listen to her anymore. She ended up taking an Uber an hour home and sending me a Venmo request for the cost of it because she was too upset to drive. I feel like I was nice enough, direct, and said what my boyfriend had been saying to me for days. He thanked me for it but is obviously upset by her reaction. I think once she calms down she'll be fine, but my boyfriend feels bad about it, which is making me feel like maybe I was an not the asshole. She is depending on your boyfriend to be her on-call therapist. But he needs to learn how to set his own boundaries with his friendships. It shouldn't be your problem. Not the asshole. Do not under any circumstance pay her for the Uber. Your boyfriend is a saint and she is a user. She won't respect boundaries as she's shown time and time again, so he needs to cut her off. She is being an appalling friend, not your BF. She can't rely on him 24/7 even if they are best friends. Not the asshole, but your boyfriend needs more backbone. Not the asshole. You may have been a little harsh at the end of your statement, but for the most part the things you stated were true and fair, especially given the toll this is taking on your boyfriend. It's also reasonable to want to step in and defend your partner when you're the one witnessing how good of a friend he is being. Could have been slightly more gentle in your approach, but overall, not the asshole. Her mental state is important, but she needs a therapist, not your boyfriend's 24/7 attention. Am I the asshole for refusing move-out cause of my roommate's dog and not doing chores? Throwaway. Have two roommates, Josie and Mel. I moved in beginning of 2023, they're on the lease, I'm not. Recently Josie was considering getting a dog. I didn't think anything of it because in my experience people say they're going to do stuff all the time but don't follow through for a while. Well, she ended up getting the dog and I was pissed. I really don't like dogs. When she arrived home with the dog I started freaking out and asking her what the fuck was going on. She was confused and said she'd been talking about getting a dog for a while now and sent a text to our GC she was bringing it home today, so I should have been aware. I didn't see a text about it, but to be fair my phone is messed up and sometimes I don't get messages. I told her I don't like dogs and we should have discussed it as a group before she did something so drastic. She brought up that she's been talking about this for a couple months now and I never mentioned I don't like dogs, so I should have said something. I told her I didn't actually think she would follow through with it. She said that was my own issue for not speaking up and the dog was here to stay. I feel it was disrespectful of her to disregard my comfort in the home. She said if I don't like the dog I can leave. Well, sorry, but I'm not leaving. I love the area and living here. I deserve to be comfortable in my home, so the dog needs to go. I told her as such, and her reply was that I'm not on the lease, so if I wasn't comfortable with the dog I was under no obligation to stay. I shouldn't have to move my life around because Josie was so selfish. I told her that wouldn't be happening, so I'm staying, and she said the dog is staying too, so I have to get used to it. We left it at that for a couple weeks. I decided since she's disregarding my comfort and space by bringing home the dog, then I'm under no obligation to make her comfortable either. I stopped participating in shared household responsibilities. We rotate who cleans which room each week, and as well as general tidying up other than my own room and dishes. Josie and Mel have gotten angry about this and keep whining about how terrible of a roommate I am and that I need to do my share of the chores. They sat me down yesterday and said if I didn't start participating they would be kicking me out. I said they can't do that cause I pay rent. They said I'm not on the lease and legally they can kick me out. Not sure if they can or not. I'm not familiar with tenant rights in my city, but I'll be looking into it. I said they can try, but I'm not going anywhere. They called me an asshole and a bunch of other colorful names. I mentioned what's going on to a friend yesterday. They agree with my roommates and think I'm being a giant jerk and should move out. I don't think I should, as I love the apartment, neighborhood and don't want to move. But I also don't want to live with a dog. So am I the asshole? You are the asshole. You missed your opportunities to voice your opinion by not speaking up the several times your roommate brought it up. Also, you're not on the lease, so you're essentially a third wheel in this roommate dynamic. The best thing to do is to move out because you sound like a miserable person and will only take everyone down with you, unless you remove yourself from the situation. She didn't disregard your comfort by bringing the dog into the home. You apparently had multiple opportunities to voice your objections and chose not to. That's on you. Acting out of spite by refusing to do chores, not tidy up after yourself, etc., is just petty, juvenile, and ahish. Move out and make sure to be clear about your needs and wants from now on if you're going to have roommates. You are the asshole and sorry, but what? She talked about it for months and you didn't want to bring up that you don't like dogs? Are you serious? You are the asshole. You had plenty of time to tell them you didn't like dogs, and you didn't. That's your fault. You should definitely move out, because from the sounds of it they would have every right to kick you out, as you're not named on the lease. The dog has more right to be there than you do, as long as the landlord has said it's okay to have a pet. 100% you are the asshole in my opinion. You knew about the dog for couple months and you had a chance to bring it up, not sure why you were expecting them to convene some type of grand council to discuss further. You're bad for not speaking up and assuming she would not follow through. As far as getting kicked out, I have no idea if you have any rights in that situation. My guess would be not much. Seems like you are their guest. If you don't have any rights, you'll get kicked out. If you do have tenant rights, they'll just move out and leave you behind with full rent. So not doing your part of chores is just a short-sighted tantrum that does not have a good ending. Am I the asshole for punishing my family over not paying my bills? I, 27F, have been studying for 7 years. I'm slower than most because I have to work for 2-3 days a week to pay my bills, since I live alone. My father and his wife, 50s, lent me money every month until I turned 25 as they received some allowance from the state, and they also contributed a fixed amount every month. This stopped when I was 25. My mother, 47F, and her husband, 47 male, always refused to contribute a fixed amount. They have been paying some bills when I struggle, 1-2 a year and max $150, until I turned 25. They are well off. Mansion, vacation houses, multiple cars. However, I always had to beg for the money every time I asked for it. They would ask me questions like, why do I need it? Can't I ask my dad instead? Can some friends lend me the money? So naturally I stopped asking them. However, there was one time 3 years ago I had a painful cavity and asked my mother for $150 to go to the dentist. She refused, so I asked my dad, who paid for the dentist. I tried to talk it over with my mother, saying I was disappointed she did not help me. She said they had to save for my half-siblings, 12M, 7F, college funds. She also said that for all the times her and her husband helped me, they expected me to help my siblings pay for college as well. I said I would help as much as I was able to, as 1, they are not my children, and 2, I have 3 sisters on my dad's side that will probably need more financial help since my dad is not well off. She was kinda angry and called me selfish after I said that, but we left it at that. Fast forward to now, I was speaking with my mom about the death of her husband's father, which happened in 2015, the year I started studying. She mentioned how he set up a trust fund with $200,000 for each of his grandchildren, my half-brother and sister included. I was shocked. I never heard of this trust fund before, but said nothing since the money wasn't for me anyway. I asked her why. She told me they had to save for siblings' college fund when their funds were already more than enough. I said I was disappointed they did not help me out more. She told me I should just be grateful that my brother and sister will not have to struggle like I did, and that I was not entitled to their money and it was normal I had to work while studying. I have been cold towards her and have not been visiting them as much since then, and she has been complaining about it, saying I am punishing them. I try to keep contact with my brother and sister by phone though. I talked about it with my partner and some friends who all told me I have every right to not go to their place. Every time I try to bring it up with my mother, she dismisses my concerns and say I am in the wrong for punishing my half-siblings and her husband for having a trust fund. So, am I the asshole for punishing my family over not paying my bills? You are the asshole. You're not entitled to anyone's money no matter how much of it they may seem to have. It is normal to work during college and you only worked 2-3 days a week. You're 27, not 18. If you were younger, I'd feel a little differently, but it's time to figure your own shit out. Not the asshole. Your mom's cup was running over and she let you be thirsty because you didn't fit into her new family. Actually. Not the asshole. Your mother let you know that you are not as important to her as your half-siblings. She told you that she had not been giving you money, but lending it to you, without your knowledge, and expected you to pay it back by helping her preferred children, who don't even need the help. Yeah, no, your mom is an I wouldn't want to be around her anymore, either, after finding out how she really felt about me. You're not going to get much sympathy because most people don't have parents that pay their bills at 27. I can count on one hand how many times my parents sent me a couple $100s after I left home at 18, and it was all before I was 21. I think your mom kinda sucks for lying to you as well and for putting the expectation that you help your half-siblings. Your half-siblings are not your responsibility, and your mom doesn't get to just put a requirement on money they gave you in the past. How much control over the money does your mom have? Could she be in a tough situation where her husband is saying no? Does she give you emotional support? Is she a good mom to you in non-financial ways? Info. What are you studying for? Am I the asshole for not going with my mom's baby shower plan? My 25 female, mom, 50 female, planned my baby shower for 12 days before my due date. I have many issues with this. She asked if I'd be okay with waiting until then so my cousin would be able to go. I said no, that is too late, and told her my concerns. We had this conversation several times. I said no each time. Argued a bit, then I thought we came to an agreement on early July. Then she just went ahead and booked the venue for August 6 anyway. I told her I did not feel comfortable waiting this long to get my baby the thing she needs. I will be 38 weeks, also I am a first-time mom. I want to be prepared, and I'm worried I could have the baby early, even before the shower, during, or very shortly after. She just says, well, I'll help set up. I can't really rely on her for that, as she's very notorious for being flaky. I am concerned I may not even be able to make it due to how late in the pregnancy it is. In general, she's been more focused on her friends and coworkers that she's inviting, along with everybody else's schedule, that I feel like a total afterthought. So, basically, my mom tells me she will book for July 16 as this was the earliest the venue we were interested in had available. She tells me a week later the venue is booked. I assumed it's for the date we agreed upon, so wrote that in the Facebook event. She texts me, oh, sorry, your aunt had a wedding that weekend so I just went ahead and did the 6th. I said, nice. Hope I'll be able to go. And she just said, it'll be fine. Well, I decided that I am not actually waiting that long to get baby stuff that I need. That's ridiculous. I feel it'll be very stressful to have to sort so last minute, deal with duplicate gifts, run out to get what I didn't get, etc. Therefore, I told guests in the event Facebook to only bring diapers if they choose to bring anything at all, as this is so close to the due date and I'd like to be set up before that. I also changed the event name to Diaper Party. My mom got angry and sent a text asking if I'm sure I have everything I need. I actually do have most essentials, just a few items I still need. She told me to just get addresses and leave it at that. Put a registry on the invite and allow guests to choose what they'd like to get, that is, if they'd like to bring something." I said, "No, I do not want to wait that long to get what I need and anything I don't have. I will get on my own well before 38 weeks. Now she's acting petty and won't talk to me. I'm very angry that she lied to me, did her own thing and is now making me out to be some difficult spoiled brat for asking to not receive gifts. I feel in a way, she's the asshole, but I feel worried that I'm being petty myself, and I understand she is planning for me, which is great, but I can't wait that long to get what I need. My mom is partially the asshole, but am I the asshole too? Not the asshole. This is the kind of stuff that gets grandparents barred from getting to see their grandchildren. Not the asshole. Why not just find a different venue? A church? Or even someone's home? OMG, NTA. Your mom is the worst. But I don't mean that in an ugly way, lol. You've handled this exactly right, and I'm sorry your mom is being such a pill about it. Guess your kid has a wacky grandma to look forward to, good luck with that. Not the asshole. This party won't be about you and your baby, it will be about her. I don't blame you for making other arrangements, and if I were you I'd plan my own shower for earlier. Not the asshole. Why does a shower have to be at a venue anyway? My mom's shower, for baby me, was a month before her due date. And yes, I crashed my own baby shower. My mom's friend made her laugh so hard her water broke. But hey, because of that, my grandparents got to be there for my birth. They had to go home a few states away after the shower. All I'm saying is, make sure to have your go bag.